Hello, my name is Emily. In this video, there will be 2 passages shown, and in each passage there are 10 grammatical errors. My group and I will be pointing out the mistakes and explaining why each of them is incorrect. So here is a challenge for you. Can you spot all the mistakes? Let's go.
On cold wet morning, my class was filled with excitement. The mistake in this sentence is on cold. This is because morning is a singular noun, so we need to add a in this sentence to show that it happened on one morning. The correct sentence is on a cold wet morning, my class was filled with excitement. Someone have discovered that the next day was our teacher's birthday. The mistake in this sentence is have discovered. This is because have discovered is a present perfect tense, but this sentence is in past tense. So we need to use had discovered as it is a past perfect tense. The correct sentence is someone had discovered that the next day was our teacher's birthday. Our teacher was the kindest person that ever exists. The mistake in this sentence is exists. As the sentence is in past tense, exist must be changed to existed. This is because existed is the past tense for exist. The correct answer is our teacher was the kindest person that ever existed. Thus, it is no surprise she was the favorite teacher to the pupils. The mistake in this sentence is the word is. This is because when the sentence is in past tense, the word is must be changed to was. The correct sentence is thus, it was no surprise she was the favorite teacher to the pupils. Everyone wants to get her a present. The mistake in this sentence is wants. This is because wants is a present tense, but the sentence is a completed action in the past, which means the action started and finished at a specific time in the past. So we need to use wanted as the sentence is in past tense. The correct sentence is everyone wanted to get her a present.
The next sentence in the passage is I very much wanted to show any appreciation to. The mistake in this sentence is shown. This is because after the preposition to, there must be a root word or a word in its base form. So, what is the root word of shown? The root word of shown is show. Therefore, the correct sentence is I very much wanted to show any appreciation to. Next, that afternoon I spent the whole afternoon shop for a present. In this sentence there are 2 errors. Can you spot them? The first mistake is the word spent. Here, the phrase that afternoon is talking about the past, so the word spent must be in its past tense form, which is spent. The second mistake is the word shop. The word shop is incorrect because the verb is happening in the past. Therefore, the correct sentence is that afternoon I spent the whole afternoon shopping for a present. Moving on, after a long search, I finally made on my mind. The error in the sentence is the preposition on. Make up is an idiom you use when you are coming to a final decision. And since the passage is in past tense, we should use the past tense of make up, which is made up. The correct sentence should be, after a long search, I finally made up my mind. The last sentence of the passage is, the next day I gave her a bouquet of beautiful roses, and she exclaimed with pleasure. The mistake in this sentence is the word give. According to the dictionary, the word give does not exist. Therefore, the correct past tense of this word is gave. And the correct sentence is the next day I gave her a bouquet of beautiful roses, and she exclaimed with pleasure. That is all for passage 1. Thank you.
Hello. I will now point out the errors within passage 2 in terms of grammar. So, the first one, the main source of energy in the world is fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. The error within this sentence is quite simple. The verb is should be are because fossil fuels is plural. So the non-action verb, which is should be are. Now moving on to the next one. For the second sentence, it reads, fossil fuels are non-renewable. This means that nature cannot recreate them as fast as people using them up today. So there are a couple of errors within this passage, within this sentence that is in the passage. The first error is mean. It should be means because the subject-verb agreement within fossil fuels is, it's plural, which means that the subject-verb agreement for mean should be means, since means is for plural and mean is for individual, for just one person or one thing. For example, if I say I love tacos, I mean it. The mean is only referring to me, an individual person. If I say they, it means a lot to them. For example, I have to use means because I'm referring to more than one person, them, which is why this subject-verb agreement needs to be means and not mean for this sentence. Now, for the next error is people. There's a missing non-action verb after people. It should be people are, since people is a plural. First of all, it's a plural noun, and there's not even a non-action verb after people. It's just people using them up today, which is completely wrong. It should be people are using them up today. So the full correct sentence should be fossil fuels are non-renewable. This means that nature cannot recreate them as fast as people are using them up today. Now for the third sentence within the passage that contains the error, one error, I'll read it out first. Sometime in the future, all of them run out and we will need other renewable sources of energy. Now, this is pretty simple to spot the mistake. The mistake is that it is missing a verb that expresses the future, which means that this passage is not fully in future tense. For example, run. Like run can be applied to future, past, or present. It just depends on what verb you use. So the non-action verb that should be used is will. It should be all of them will run out because it is referring to the future, which means an indicator is needed to describe the future or to express that this will happen in the future. If it were to describe that what happened in the past, it would say it ran out. Like you could just say that. Or if you would want to say it's in the present, you can say that it's currently running out or it's running out. You can put in the present tense continuous. But in this case, it needs to be a future tense since it's describing the future, which is why this sentence is wrong, because it doesn't have a future tense indicator, which is the word will, this non-action verb. So for the last sentence within the passage that has an error, today, hydro or water power generated by huge dams is a major source of electricity in many parts of the world. Now the error within this sentence is the word generate. It should be generated because the context within this sentence implies that the hydro or water power has already been generated by the huge dams, which means that the huge dams have already been generating this hydro or water power. If you were to use the word generate, you would need to use a future tense verb, which is will, like a future tense non-action verb, which is again will. So that would be will generate in the future. You can't use generate in a context where you have already generated that something. In this case, it's water power. So yeah, that is the reason why this sentence, this error in this sentence is incorrect. because it should be used within the context that it has already generated water power, which is why we use the word generated, if that makes sense.
Next is, but hydropower have its own costs. This is in present perfect tense. The use of have here is wrong because hydropower is an abstract uncountable noun. This means that it cannot be counted with numbers, and it is a concept that cannot be felt with the 5 human senses. Have should only be used when speaking in first, second, and third person, as well as for plural nouns. For uncountable nouns, you should use the verb has so that it agrees with the subject, which is, in this case, hydropower. This makes the new sentence, but hydropower has its own costs. The next sentence is, when dams are building, the area above them is flooded, sometimes for miles. The sentence is in the present simple tense because it is a statement of fact. The word building in this sentence is wrong because in this case, it is referring to the action of constructing something. Therefore, it requires the subject to be a person, not an inanimate object, such as dams. The word when at the start of the sentence is an adverb, so it requires a circumstance, such as dams being built. So, the sentence that is correct would be, when dams are built, the area above them is flooded, sometimes for miles. For the second last sentence, which is, in some places, people loses their homes, as well as the rich river soil in which they once growed their crops. There are 2 errors in this sentence. The first mistake is the word loses, which should only be used when referring to a single person in the third person point of view. It should be replaced with have lost, as the sentence is in the present perfect tense. This means that the sentence happened in the past and has had the possibility of happening again in the future. The next sentence is the word growed, which is not considered a word in the dictionary, as the past form of grow is grew. Therefore, the correct sentence is, in some places, people have lost their homes as well as the rich river soil in which they once grew their crops. The last sentence is, below the dams, the natural habitats of fish and wildlife in river valley are destroyed as the course of the river is changed. For this sentence, it should be in the past perfect tense. Therefore, the phrase river valley are destroyed should be changed to river valleys have been destroyed. The word river valley is wrong because the word the has not been included in the phrase. Therefore, it does not specify which river valley it is referring to. Thus, it should be referred to as something general, which explains the change of the word into plural form. Are is changed to have been because the context of this sentence is that it is something that started and ended in the past. The new sentence would be, below the dams, the natural habitats of fish and wildlife in river valleys have been destroyed as the course of the river is changed.